welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't updated you guys much, but I haven't really been doing anything. There is a couple of things that have changed. The 240 is now gone. It's the new project car. I traded the 240 for 12 valve Cummins. Had that with the intention of keeping it and using it for work and snowplow and stuff, but unfortunately things changed. I needed the money and decided to get another cheap project car. And this isn't too big of a project car. It's something that I can still daily and have fun with. Picked this thing up for a pretty good price. It's very clean. It does have the black interior. It's a little dirty right now. I haven't even cleaned it. Excuse this. But yeah, the interior is super clean. It has 134,000 miles. I drove it all day yesterday. I drove 280 miles alone yesterday. It does have the Bose audio system. It sounds very good. This driver's side front speaker is blown, so I just balanced it out. The back of this car is also very clean. The audio does sound very nice without that speaker. I am going to be putting some subwoofers in. I'll show you guys a list of the things that I'm going to be installing today, but this is the car. Has everything, has the sport mats, front and back. And the trunk. I did take this cover off. I was checking out the amp because I'm gonna have to wire my amp in there. I have all of this stuff. Everything works perfectly. This is the A4 mat above the Avant one. Everything works as it should. No rust, no major body damage. The timing chain was done on this car, and if you know about these cars, every time you work on them you have to remove the entire front clip, that being the bumper, the headlights, the entire radiator support, the radiator. It did get damaged by the previous owner's mechanic when the hood was open, so it's just the hood, not even the fender. So that's one of the only damages it has, and then other than that, the front end doesn't align very well. And that's not because of a wreck, that's actually because, like I said, they removed these bumpers so many times that when they put them back on, they do it rushed, or they just don't align them, you know. So I'm gonna be recapping everything and putting all the bumpers the way they should be. It does have Blizzak snow tires, so that's good. I'm gonna be using this to go up snowboarding. Very excited to see how she treats me, hopefully well. I did have a fat stack of service records, so that's always a good sign. It was garage kept. All right guys, now for the good stuff. Some of it is good stuff, some of it I'm just, you know, trying to get it looking the way I want it to look, but it'll do. I have some coilovers over here. Over here I have a Borla exhaust. Very nice. The guy was nice enough to hook me up with the mid pipes to get rid of the cats. They are resonated. Over here, you know me, I like audio and I like bass, but I also didn't want to overdo it. I don't want to make the car rattle all crazy. It's nothing crazy. It's like 300 watts. At least the amp is 350 watts RMS. I'm not sure what the subwoofer is. I did pick it up for a deal as well. Dude gave me all the wiring, bass control, and then I have this output that you just hook up to the speakers and to the RCAs to the amp. Since I don't want to get rid of my head unit, I'm gonna wire this instead of getting a new head unit. I like to keep it stock. But yeah, these are the parts that are gonna be going on today. Nothing too crazy, but I do want sound from the motor. I do want it lower, and I do want sound inside of the car. So what do you think, Tommy? You like these mods? Oh, you motherfucker. Stop! Don't! I also got a new puppy. Her name is Maggie. I did get her this nice little sweater because I'm potty training her and it's a bit cold outside, but 7 weeks old, eating like a fucking pig, a grown pig, and this is my other big pig, Tommy. Alright, well, first things first, I'm going to install the subwoofers. My plan is to run the power cords first, have power back here. That way when I start hooking up the the output to the amp, I can test it and make sure that everything's working and I'm actually receiving output. After that, we'll move on to the rest of the stuff, like the exhaust first and then the coilovers last. I did get everything hooked up. I have my signal wire to turn on the amp hooked up. I soldered everything and I put electrical tape on it to keep it nice and protected. The RCAs are hooked up. Go into the amplifier, just need to get it all tucked in there and get my interior put back together. All right, now we're gonna be removing the exhaust. Well, I guess I already beat you guys. I already removed it. I got the stock exhaust over here. This thing, no lie, is like a good 50 pounds lighter than that one. This one is so light, like even put together, it does not compare. But yeah, now let's throw in the Borla and see what it sounds like. Alright guys, well now I got the exhaust on. It's pretty nice and tight in there, just like the old one. I did totally forget to do a sound clip of what it sounded like before, but whatever, you guys will hear it all once it's lowered. I'm moving on to the coilovers now. I already removed the hubcap, so that's next. Well, this is what it looks like down here. I've never done this before. I probably should have watched some videos, but I'm assuming it's just these two bolts and this top one up here, and then the whole assembly should be able to come out, and that one probably, so all of it can drop. But honestly, I probably didn't even have to remove those two. I think maybe just that one and the one for the coil. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. All right guys, I got the rear end done. I'm not gonna record the rest of them. That's probably pretty boring for you guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead, get them done and lower it. I just left them the way the previous owner had them. It looks like it's significantly lower. All right guys, it's another day. Got the rear end done yesterday and moved on to the front. The pinch bolt for the upper control arms is very difficult to take out, so I took a long time doing that. If you guys ever do this for the first time on the car, I totally recommend having some bolts in hand. I actually got lucky and picked these up at AutoZone just now. So what I did with the old one is I hammered it out and I mushroomed the end of it, so I grinded it off after, and then that way I was able to pass it through, because I just knew I wasn't going to be able to save that bolt. It's actually right here. I mean, and it threads on still, but I don't know, I just don't want to reuse that. I did mess up the thread a little bit because when I was hammering it, I wasn't hitting it directly straight, so it bent the end a little bit, so when I was pulling it out, it kind of, you know, messed up the threads. But we got this done. Now move on to the other side, get those done. I am going to make a separate video on how to install coilovers on the front and the back, and since I already did it on this side, it shouldn't be too hard for me and I'll be able to explain better. So if you guys need to see that, there's going to be a link in the description for the other video. All right guys, well here you have it. Here's the Avant on the coilovers. I might raise it a little bit, that looks pretty low. I did go for a test drive and it doesn't rub at all. I haven't hit any bumps or high speed, so yeah, that's what the wheels look like, and this is what the exhaust sounds like. Pretty nice exhaust note. I'll go ahead and rev it for you guys so you guys can kind of get a feel for how it sounds. Well guys, that concludes today's video. Stay tuned if you guys want to see more content on my new S4 Avant B5. I have a lot of plans for it. Hopefully eventually I'll manual swap it, not anytime soon. Hopefully next video I'll be getting some nice wheels, so stay tuned.